Here's what's coming into view on Elevating Denver for December 2024. The season is bright with holiday lights.
Denver starts calling itself the Christmas city of the world.
E-bikes go on patrol with Denver police.
That's going to do really great things in our city.
Urban Peak Mothership expands its reach.
It's a monumental act of love.
These stories and more are just ahead on Elevating Denver.
The story of outdoor Christmas lights begins in Denver, Colorado in 1914. Little David Sturgeon is lying in his bed the week before Christmas. He's sick, he doesn't feel well, and he's not getting to enjoy the Christmas festivities with his family. Trying to figure out what they should do for him, his dad, D.D. Sturgeon, has an idea because he is an electrician. So he takes some small bulbs, strings them together, paints them red and green, and hangs them outside of little David's bedroom window. Once lit up, the green and red glow of the Christmas lights come into his bedroom and cheer him because now he gets to celebrate Christmas. People living in residential areas in Denver did not have electrification. They lit their homes using lamps. They lit their Christmas trees using candles. The neighborhoods would have been dark. They wouldn't have had street lamps. And so having just that glow of those outdoor lights, say across the street from you at your neighbor's house, would have been something that you definitely would have noticed in 1914. The popularity of the Sturgeon family Christmas lights does catch on with city officials. And in 1919, John Malpede was the city of Denver electrician. He goes to the city and says, we should do this at the city level. Let's have some of our own Christmas lights. He decided to decorate Civic Center Park. He replaced all of the regular light bulbs in the lights with red and green hand-painted light bulbs. He also put up evergreen Christmas trees. And that was really the extent of the first decoration of the Civic Center Park. And that was the first celebration of Christmas lights for the city. Pinky Wayne was a Denver Post reporter, and she was really the one who got people excited about Christmas light displays because she would report on the most spectacular displays in Denver and where those locations were. And that would encourage families to pile into the family station wagon and drive over to those neighborhoods to check out those really amazing displays. By the 1950s, we get into the post-war consumer boom. And Christmas becomes part of that post-World War II consumer boom. This is where we see the rapid expansion of the Christmas lighting at Civic Center Park. It was under John Malpede's electrical finger, if you will, that we started the tradition of lighting the lights. That it wasn't enough to just turn on the lights. We wanted to do it in a grand style with the mayor pushing that button and everyone there to celebrate going from a dark, dark season to a season of light and color and family and community.
3, 2, 1.
I mean, let's be honest, Denver starts calling itself the Christmas city of the world. And that's something Pinky Wayne coins from her role at the Denver Post. But it really is becoming this grand celebration of lights at Christmas. And so when you think about Denver in 1914 and that little string of red and green lights hanging outside of David Sturgeon's bedroom just because he was ill, that's something that people would have flocked to. We don't think about the extent of that today, but in 1914, that's something that would have been completely unique, completely awe-inspiring. I think that one of the reasons why we still love Christmas lights today is because it takes us back to this magical childhood moment where for the first time we're experiencing something that is so unusual, so different for us, that it just encapsulates a place in our heart that we can never let go of.
Going to do really great things in our city and hopefully, be accessible and help people see how e-bikes can really change people's lives.
This was a collaborative effort between the Denver Police Department, CASR, Mike's Bikes, and Councilwoman Alvidra's office. We received 27 e-bikes for the department, 4 of which will go through districts 1 through 5, and 6 of which will go to District 6 that has a full-time bike team. We believe that this will create an opportunity for further community engagement, which is most important to us. We think that these are going to be conversation pieces when the officers are out riding them. That gives us an opportunity to engage with, not only people in the city, but youth in the city to talk about bicycle safety and the great opportunity that you have in the city of Denver and the accessibility for bikes and traveling throughout the city.
What inspired me to connect CASR and the police department was talking to neighborhoods, specifically the Overland neighborhood in my district, which is cut off by the highway and the river. And they were telling me they have a hard time getting emergency access to the area, and they wanted to build a better relationship with the police.
The bikes are going to be great for mobility for our agency and through dense crowds of things of that nature to get to somebody quick if we need to help, most importantly. And also, it's going to allow us to access areas that a patrol vehicle might not necessarily be able to go. Travel at an estimated speed of about 25 miles per hour, top speed, and have about a 70-mile range.
So the bikes are a Cannondale Moterra, which is a dual suspension mountain bike, which you would typically use as a trail riding bike, but it has a lot of really great properties that are very relevant for patrolling. So if you have uneven sidewalks or you've got districts that have grass and also a lot of sidewalks, you've got a bike that can really handle all conditions.
We're also excited about the environmental impact that this will have for our community, and we support that as an agency.
When I think about how we have these ozone days and how we're not supposed to be riding our vehicles around, that's not always an option for someone like a police officer. But this will give them the ability to have less vehicle miles traveled and be better for our air quality on those terrible days.
CASR is a great partner. We've had nothing but success with them, and we were very excited that as an agency to develop that partnership with other entities in the city. That's huge for the Denver Police Department, and I believe it's huge for all city agencies.
For me, this was great to actually get to work with another agency, support their work with what we're doing in a really profound way. We found a very willing partner in DPD to talk about e-bikes because it was a cultural thing and something that they thought was going to help their policing, and we thought, it would help hopefully them to not drive as much, right? We're going to incentivize them to leave their cars, to make that choice, that there could be an easy pick to choose the bike over a car.
The officers love the bikes. They love the bikes, they're comfortable, they're very efficient. We're finding, that the officers enjoy every day that they get to ride them.
I think every person we ride by has some sort of comment from, oh, nice bike, to, oh, hey, where'd you get those? So it's been a real opportunity to interact with those people and converse with people that we may not have.
I'm really excited to build a better relationship with our community and be partners in making our community a healthier, better place.
We fully support their goal of how this is going to really increase their ability to be in the communities and support communities along the way.
I hope that this continues on. I hope that we, as an agency, look for more opportunities, the Denver Police Department, to work with other city agencies because this was so successful. And I also hope that, that these bikes continue to be viable and that we use them the way we're using them now, and that we build the program out further in the future with our partners at CASR.
It happens every day across Denver. People in a rush accidentally leave a personal item behind. Those lost items are often turned in and eventually enter a carefully curated system managed by Denver's General Services. Unclaimed personal items are only a small portion of the inventory of goods housed and eventually sold out of Denver's surplus warehouse.
We serve every department, agency under the mayor, including independent agencies that are part of the general fund. This location handles the smalls, the stuff that we can handle on a pallet jack or a forklift.
I was really impressed when I went to the warehouse for the first time. What they showed me was, first of all, how meticulous and well cared for these items are. We've actually invested quite a bit in different ways to classify items and identify the value of those items. So it's very meticulous in that piece.
While the surplus warehouse deals with a lot of the city's older office furniture and equipment, there is an array of items collected from multiple city agencies and Denver's International Airport.
The amount of items we get in here is just, it's mind-boggling, right? From the lost and found from the airport, the police confiscated property, the sheriff property we received, and just the overhaul of the city agencies that come in here. We always come across new things all the time, right? So it's very unique, I want to say.
We're now one of the larger airports in the world. We're almost serving, 100 million passengers a year now. So you can imagine how many different items come through there per year.
If you lose something at the airport, they have a great system. If they find it, they're going to enter it into their system, and then when you file your claim, it can match it up without even talking to anybody.
The amount of electronics that do come through here, I mean, laptops, tablets, AirPods, headphones, that type of stuff, it's amazing how that gets lost and nobody comes back to claim their stuff.
We sell through our auction almost $35,000 worth of bicycles a year that are retrieved by the Denver Police Department or either found.
The Denver Police Department has partnered with a company called 529 Garage. Register your bike through 529 Garage and see if you can get it back, because we get hundreds of bikes every year that we're selling to.
Another big piece is sales from vehicles that have been confiscated through the Sheriff's Department, as well as older city vehicles.
We have a local partner, Dick and Sheet and Associates. They sell off the impounded vehicles. If you lose something out at Red Rocks, I'd call them right away and see if they have it, because they have a lost and found program out there as well. Also, all of arts and venues, all the city buildings around town, if you lose something there and it doesn't get picked up, it'll eventually come to us.
The volume of goods collected across the city would overwhelm the limited space at the surplus warehouse. To help manage the inventory, buyers from Denver and across the globe have an opportunity to participate in public online auctions.
You're definitely going to find great deals on these items. It's a bidding process, but you're not going to pay retail for these items. But we encourage the inspections on this property as well.
These are as-is, where-is auctions. We want to be sensitive to that because there's risks involved with a governmental auction. There's no refunds, there's no returns. So when people are buying this, you have to know that you get what you get. Most of the city-owned property and the lost and found and the police confiscated property is going to be sold through our online vendor GovDeals. Or you could go to denvergov.org/auctions, and that's going to give you direct links to everything.
We're approaching $9 million in sales this year, which is a good thing for the general fund. The general fund is essentially the motor or the engine behind a lot of the charter departments, such as the Department of Safety, General Services, Department of Transportation and Infrastructure. And that money is administered and managed through City Council and the Mayor's office. So by us putting money back into it, we help to fund not only operations at the warehouse, but all of these different departments too.
In dealing with surplus, Denver's #1 goal is to maximize return on investment. This requires efficient, sustainable, transparent, and innovative solutions to move product to the consumer.
The city ideally wants to get this back to the individuals and does a lot of effort to get those things back. The impound facility, they send out notices to every registered owner, every lien holder. Hey, we have your vehicle, please come and grab it. It's required by our policies that if we know who the owner is of this, we're gonna be trying to call you, we're gonna be trying to email you to try to get these things back. So ultimately, we don't wanna sell it, we wanna get it back to the citizen. But there comes a time where we need to move it because of the space concerns, and it just has to go.
Our main goal too is to keep this stuff out of the landfill. We're not wasting this stuff, it's not going to the trash, it's finding a home, and it's, generating money at the same time for the city.
So when it comes to this warehouse and us, it is gonna go. We're gonna try to find a home for it. Whether that's selling it out the door for $5 for a chair or auctioning it off. I think that is one of the main things that we are proud of doing is making sure that this is out there for everybody to participate in. There's no backdoor deals, there's no behind the scenes. This is a public auction. Everything is gonna go through it, and we're proud of what we do.
I really think that this place is exemplary of the best parts of Denver. It's a monumental act of love.
The Mothership is a very innovative project, and it's the first in the country of its kind.
In 1998, Urban Peak opened Colorado's first and only licensed shelter for youth experiencing homelessness. Since then, Urban Peak has expanded the shelter into a new campus affectionately called the Mothership.
The things I love the most about the building are that it is designed for youth by youth. As we work with youth who are experiencing homelessness, we need to understand how different those young people are than someone who has experienced homelessness for decades.
The thing that really inspires me is how these youth from such difficult situations, such difficult family lives with such difficult problems are able to make progress and overcome them, even if we don't see them through to the finish line. I feel like the work that we do helps empower people.
We really, really thought down to the detail and really thought outside the box. We know that space has high impact on how people engage, and at the Mothership, everything about it is how is it not institutional. The design it's sort of that first step of healing, and trauma-informed design has become more and more popular, but the Mothership is sort of trauma-informed design 2.0.
One of the greatest cost that comes from being homeless is the cost of time. We often talk about the inability to access services, but that inability to access services often comes from the inability to sit in an office for 4 hours waiting to meet with someone. One of the things that I really love about the Mothership's intentional design is that it is a circumspect service area. Yeah, you can get medical care, education, employment, housing, moving up to higher degrees of housing and independence, all inside of the same space where you're going to have the same case manager, the same care team, and that is just invaluable to people as far as outcomes go.
We have a music studio, we have an art studio, we have a classroom, we have behavioral health space, we have a medical clinic. All of these things are meant to wrap a young person in services and in support systems so that we can help be their partner as ideally they're breaking that cycle of homelessness and avoiding chronic homelessness.
I actually started my relationship with Urban Peak as a client. I received services to their shelter and then eventually entered into housing for quite a number of years before I started working here. So I've been around for a while. Urban Peak inspired me to choose this as my profession. Urban Peak inspired me to better myself. Urban Peak allowed me the space to be able to deal with the things that caused me to be homeless so that I could have a career in the future.
I had a guy who worked with us and he was talking to me, and he was a former youth, and he said, you know, when I came to Urban Peak, it saved my life. But if I had come to Urban Peak with the mothership, I would have felt like my life was valued, because this space implies value. And so I hope that as people leave us, they carry that value with them. I also hope that as a community, we invest in creating space that demonstrates value. And I hope we do that in Denver, and I hope we do it in Colorado, and I hope we do it in the United States.
Educate yourself, learn about the issues, communicate with other people, and support the organizations that are doing good work with donations when you're able to. Whether that is like a fiscal contribution, or whether that is donating clothes, furniture, period products, anything that you can. Those resources are invaluable, and we wouldn't be able to function without our community support.
I think what I hope for us as a community is that when we see people experiencing homelessness, don't look away. That it doesn't mean that your average person has to know how to engage or fix. And if you want to give money, give money. If you want to give water, give water. If all you want to do is look and give someone a smile, do that. Because when we treat people as invisible, they live in a space of invisibility, and that is a very dark place to be. So at a minimum, remember that we are humans and we are dying for connection, to be together. And if you want something bigger and more meaningful, come to Urban Peak and get involved. You won't regret it.
Denver Zoo has this rich tradition of zoo lights. It's one of those things that families do year after year. They come, then grandchildren, and then great-grandchildren, and so on. And it's just one of these main staples for our community that everyone can come out and enjoy a gorgeous 80-acre campus with 3+ million lights that are themed and designed. It's just a beautiful art display as much as being outside with your friends and family.
We have a membership with the zoo, and my fiance and I are going on a date night, so we just decided it was going to be a fun thing to do for the first night of Zoo Lights. I haven't been through the whole thing yet, but I really liked the tree that said it had 3 miles of lights on it. We just put our lights on our house today, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I can't imagine dealing with 3 miles of lights. That's crazy.
Well, as you can imagine, with that many lights, with 3 million plus lights, it takes some time. So the team really starts in the summer and begins to put the lights in. Before that, right after this celebration is over in January, they'll start redesigning and put a new design in for the next year. So they always keep it fresh, they always keep it exciting, and they always add new elements to make that experience just so great. So the team has got it down to a science at this point now. The zoo has been putting on zoo lights for 34 years, and during those 34 years, it probably started a little bit lower key than it is now. The whole zoo's expanded, and we've created an opportunity for everyone to see an amazing experience throughout the entire campus. And that is pretty special, because as we add new exhibits and new places for families to gather and do things, we can add new lighting elements as well and theme them out in an appropriate way.
There's a lot of availability for concessions, for food, for activities. There's lots of different ambiances throughout the different displays, so it's not just like one feeling as you go through the zoo. You're going to get a lot of different vibes, I guess. We had some fried chicken just a little bit ago, and it was delicious. We've been having some of the hot cocoa too. You get a little cute cup and stuff. So I mean, it's just fun. It's buzzing, you know. There's like people, kids, everybody's running around having a good time.
Denver Zoo Conservation Alliance is 127 years old, and this place has been a part of our community. It's a jewel in the community in so many ways, and people use it to just get away from everyday life and you know, immerse themselves with animals. They get it to spend times with families and just enjoy being outside sometimes.
I think it's awesome. Really good to have, you know, some effort put into, you know, endangered species or just preserving wildlife in general. It's really great to have somebody focused on that, so those things don't go away.
You do?
So the thing that makes Denver Zoo Conservation Alliance so special is that we've been around for a long time. We keep improving and changing and adding to this amazing site. So there's always, every year, something new to see and do, and that becomes a fabric of the community. But this place would not exist if it weren't for the support of the community. So when people buy tickets to come in on a normal day to visit, or when they come to Zoo Lights, that all goes right back into helping us do the work that we do. And we do and protect animals all around the world and right here in Colorado. And that's our core mission. We want to save this place, and we want to save animals and wild places for future generations. That's what's so special about Denver Zoo.
It's a really fun activity to do with your family or just as a couple or just by yourself, and it's really gives you in the holiday spirit too, so that you can, you know, enjoy the rest of the season.
Tickets sell fast. It's such a great tradition that people know about it. They wait for them to go on sale. So please jump online, go to the web, hit our website, denverzoo.org, and you can find tickets and opportunities to come visit Denver Zoo. We'd love to have you here. It's a very special year. And during this time of Thanksgiving and gathering with family, there's not a better place to do that.
Stay elevated by subscribing to the city's YouTube page for these stories and more. And stay tuned to our social media channels for more content. Don't miss our new episodes of Elevating Denver, premiering each month. Thanks for watching, Denver.